What's going on, guys? It's Zooko here, and join me in today's video as we dive into one of Marvel Rivals' most difficult characters, Spider-Man, who is really one of the most powerful hidden gems among all of the rivals in the video game. And I want you guys to know at the very end of this video just how strong this character is. He has so much tech, so much depth, and he's truly one of the best characters in this game when you start mastering his kit. So let's dive into the new web slinger hero. And the thing about him as well is that many people have overlooked Spider-Man's true potential and the unique abilities that set him apart from the other superheroes, and a lot of the stuff that makes him really strong is not on the surface level of the character. So I'm here to bring all of that information to you today, and without further ado, like, comment, subscribe. Let's hop straight into today's video. Let's start off with some of his movement abilities first, and then we're going to go into his combos, because part of that is the whole part of his kit. So the first things first, for movement wise, you have a double jump. You can't reset this until you touch the ground, but this is like a passive. You want to reset it, you have to touch a wall and press whatever your button is on it, and then you can crawl on it. You can just jump off of it and then jump again. This allows for you to constantly kind of spam walls, stuff like this, right? So you can kind of keep doing that forever. You can crawl on walls, you can run on walls. I believe this is some of the things you can change if you want to change. I just have it to where I press the button. You can do like this with it, and this is pretty cool. If you're starting to lose where you're going and you can't like lock up your controls, you can always change it from crawl to run. Just remember, it's kind of like flying a helicopter. You can go reverse controls in order to do it, but there's some things you can mess around with the settings in order to do this, but it's not that important, I don't feel. But you know, you have some pretty decent movement with this. Just kind of know that you can double jump and you can crawl and walk, and you can use it to reset your jump. So like Genji, but a little bit better. So your left shift has a lot of tech to it. So the simplest one is if you just hold it and hold forward, you're gonna like give yourself like a forward swing, and it's good for like going aerial. You want to give yourself a little bit more sideways momentum, use it like a pendulum like this, and then you can kind of swing around. So basically what I'm doing, instead of me going forward, I'm going like this, like upwards to the right. So like, and then you just keep swinging yourself around. The moment you start getting outside of the pendulum sort of like thing, it's going to naturally release you. So if you stay in this angle, you can kind of keep doing this forever. And this is really good for stalling. So as long as you kind of keep this little momentum kind of going, and you never sort of break this sort of line here like this, you can kind of just swing forever, and this is pretty good. So as you can see, this is something that you can do that's pretty nice. It's not anything too crazy, but it's good at just sort of like kind of keeping your momentum kind of going, right? And if you want to jump at any point in time, if you cancel this at any point in time with a jump, it's going to keep the momentum that you just built up. So this is really nice for something like this, right? Allowing for you to really get far. So this is nice as well. Do like this, and then you can cancel your momentum with your space bar, so you can like dive on them and then stop. Another thing that it's really good for is doing like this, and you can actually do like this and go straight into your hit. So you can do like this and then go straight into a hit like this, keeping that momentum as well. So this is really nice. Now this is all cool, but I still don't think this is super crazy. So one of the things you can do with your left shift that's a little bit more advanced is you can actually go ahead and kind of use it like a bunny hop in Apex, if you ever played that game. So if you jump, you can kind of keep center your momentum instead of doing the regular. So any momentum that you use, as you can see, you can kind of keep that here. But if you do too aerial, you're gonna go straight down. So this is kind of, you know, not muy bueno. But if you do like this, you can see you're able to keep a little bit more of that momentum, and if you can get more built up, then it allows for you to, as you can see there, I just think it's nice to just do as an engagement tool like that. So I like doing it like these, because it's a really easy way to set up that big aggressive hit. And remember how we talked about this, right? So that's a really nice easy way to set up something aggressive here. One of the things you can do with this is if you do like this, you can kind of set it up like that, and that's pretty cool. You don't really have to double jump from this unless you're trying to stop your momentum, but it does it naturally for you. So this is one of the things you can do to kind of naturally let yourself do this, right? So I like doing this to set up some really quick bursts, because this is not only just a combo like this, but you can also set up into something like this. We'll talk about all of these in just a little bit, but just know you can kind of go crazy with this. So yeah, you have some really cool stuff that you can do with this. Just kind of, you know, get used to being a little bit of a sort of aggressive character. You know, you're gonna have to be very aggressive with this character. Remember, you can always bunny hop as well, so like that, keep some of the momentum instead of just doing the regular one like this, right? See nothing. If you do like this, you're able to keep the momentum, so that's pretty cool too. But I think this is actually really effective. If that would have hit, that would have been nice, but it's still hard to hit. But again, mastery is going to make you better, so as I get better with this character, that's going to be very effective. And that's pretty much your movement there. Nothing too crazy, but you get the idea. Moving on. So now let's talk about your clicks and your combos and whatnot. So let's talk about your ultimate first. Your ultimate is really good because it gives you health while you're doing it, right? But also anything that's not killed by it, they get stunned for a little while, which allows for you to actually pretty much follow up for some combos. So it's like you can soften some tanks and soften some healers if they're getting healed, and you can kind of kill them off with your combos if the ultimate doesn't kill them. And it's also just strong CC, so it's a very good ultimate. You don't have any issues with your ultimate, and it's pretty much free to use. You don't have to really worry about it since you do give yourself literally 2 times the health, so it's really good. Moving on, the next thing you have here is going to be your little punches. They are 3 hits, so it's like 1, 2, 3. The third hit does more damage, so that's important to note. You have your right clicks, which are going to be, I'm going to call them debuffs because they're really more like debuffs. They make them take more damage from you. You can say it's a damage boost, but it doesn't work for all your abilities. So just for my sake of how I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to call it a debuff. It's your right click. You put this little web on them, it's your range attack, and you see the little debuff on them or the little damage boost. So the next ability that we have is going to be your E. When you look at an enemy, if they don't have the debuff on them, it'll bring them to you. If you do have the debuff on them, it'll bring you to them. So this is pretty important to note, but notice how whenever it is on them, it doesn't take away the debuff, which means your next melee attack is going to get the damage boost. So this is allowing for you to basically do something like this, and then you see that does more damage. So that's pretty much the gist of how that works. So this works in your favor. Now there is a lot of tech that you can do with this E as well. For example, this is something that's going to be important into getting into more deep combos, is if you do it early, you see how the debuff is on them, but if you do it in quick succession, so you do your right click straight into your E, technically you did the input before it actually put the debuff on them, which allows for you to actually grapple them to you instead of you actually going to them, which allows for you to do some pretty nice combos, right? So this is really important to note. Now if you actually want to go to them, you just gotta wait a bit a second, but you can also do it like that. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this, but just know that if you do it early enough, you don't actually bring yourself to them. But if you wait, you bring yourself to them, right? Now moving on away from that, let's talk about your F. Your F is basically your little uppercut ability. It's got a fantastic combo. It's cool. It basically launches them up for an extra hit. You can do this to put a debuff, and this will actually basically take a little damage boost, and you can lead this into more follow-up, so really easily, something like this. It is pretty easy to use. It is a nice engagement tool as well, so you can do like this, and that's a pretty good combo for you as well. I'll show you how to do all of this in just a second, but I'm just showing you some of your cool little links and whatnot that you have as a character. So you're pretty good on this character, and that's pretty much that there. For your combos, you have a lot. So just kind of follow along, slow it down if you have to, because this video will be really long if I don't. So the first one that you have is going to be punch, punch, debuff, uppercut, right? You can also do punch, punch, debuff, punch, debuff, uppercut, punch, right? So these are some of your basic like 1v1 sort of scenarios. You can do debuff, punch, debuff, punch, debuff, punch, and it'll continue that little 3 chain, punch, punch, kick. That little last kick here, as you know, it does more damage. So again, doing 1-1 this into this does a lot much more damage than you normally would do if you just did it the regular way. But you can also do the first hit, 1 punch, then this, and then do like that, and that'll also kill quite a lot of enemies as well that are squishy. Debuff, punch, punch, debuff, kick. Well, it's basically punch, still input, but you can also do debuff, punch, punch, debuff, kick, debuff, uppercut. So pretty nice little standard sort of little chain thingies that you have here, that are really good. One thing you can also do is you can do debuff punch, debuff uppercut, this punch here. So you can do like this as well. So these are all really nice. So that's basically debuff uppercut, debuff punch. I don't like doing this because it actually is a little bit slower. I like doing debuff uppercut, punch this, punch, debuff, punch. So this is one of my chains that I like to do after I do actual uppercut. Basically debuff uppercut, left right left. So basically punch, debuff, punch. This is my little combo chain here that I like to do. It's very easy, especially when they're aerial, and you always want to make sure that you're setting up this here because you can lead into this as well. Now, for the sake that this character actually has so much damage, we're going to have to start doing this on bot here. So one of your first ones is going to be, let's say you grapple or you're trying to do something from range, because not all the time you're going to be up close. So if you're at range and you're trying to do a lot of damage, like doing this, and this is a pretty simple combo for you, but you can actively do this. Let me go ahead and put the actual cooldowns off because it's going to be important to see that this actually works. So like this, bing, 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 bing. Right, so these are pretty easy combos for you. Once you get used to them, you're going to be able to kind of dust these up. So what I'm doing is I'm basically doing little debuff and then straight into my grapple, and then I'm doing this. So what I'm doing is I'm punching, then I'm doing another debuff, and then I'm going straight into my uppercut. So I'm basically doing punch, debuff, uppercut, and that's basically what that is. But you have to do these rather quickly. And then while I'm in the air, I'm doing punch, debuff, punch. But since the chains continue, it's going to give you the kick. So it'll look like this: bing, 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 bing. As you can see, this does quite a bit of damage, right? So fairly easy to do. Now, once you finish this, you're pretty much kind of in a free-for-all, but you have combos to continue like to damage while it being very oppressive. So this part is not guaranteed, but it is still nice to have these because you can really kind of mess someone's day up. So you can actually go straight into your, let's say if you're resetting, you can go debuff this, debuff uppercut, then finish another chain. So I like doing this because it's actually very effective. So let me show you what this looks like. So bing, 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 bing. Right, so as you can see, you can kind of keep that chain kind of going, and this allows for you to constantly be putting pressure on them. And you could do this all while you're moving. Now the bots don't move, so it's not really important for them, but you can keep all of this going while you're actively aiming at them. So this is pretty nice. You have quite a few options here. Instead of doing the starting with the debuff, you can actually do like this as well. You can do punch, kick, punch this, then like this. So that's basically, instead of me doing debuff, punch, debuff, uppercut, I'm doing punch, debuff, uppercut, which allows for me to kill with the uppercut for all these tanks for the most part. So you basically get to choose how you kind of want to do that there. But there's a lot of options that you have with this. That's just some of the easier ones there for you. One thing I like to do is as well is if I'm actually wanting to dive on them, I wait and do this, and I'll do punch, debuff, uppercut, then I do the same chain here. I did it too early. Gonna do like this, bing, 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 and then I like to do this right here and then finish up whatever I have to. This is a pretty nice and effective way to kind of, you know, abuse this combo here. It's pretty easy to do, but that's only if you're wanting to dive on a squishy. That's when it's going to be effective. I wouldn't really do this on a tank. You lose a lot of bit of DPS by doing this, but as you can see, you're still putting them pretty much really low. After you do this, you can always go straight into this as well, but it's not really what I would call like great. I still do think that you should always lead with bringing them to you. It's safer that way. It moves them out of positioning. It makes them harder to get healed if they're in the position that they want. So I don't really like doing this one. It's not great in my opinion. So yeah, I don't like doing this one, but it is still nice enough to get the job done. Now, since we talked about that, let's talk about what you would do whenever you're actually trying to be aggressive and you're already, you know, right in front of them and you're trying to be aggressive. So I like starting off with debuff straight into uppercut because this is just nice. You can technically do punch, debuff, uppercut as well. It just gives you a little bit more damage, but It doesn't really matter how you start it off, but let's just say we start off with uppercut. I like to do this straight into my next combo from this, which is going to be my E. So what I like to do is I like to do debuff, uppercut, punch, this, and then do this. If you're trying to make this link naturally with, let's say if you are completely, topped off on your thing, you need to do like this. And as you can see, you have the opportunities to kind of do what you need to do there. It's a pretty good move. I think this is a really nice combo for you, so I like doing it. So you can also do like this. This is another one of your combos. You can do like this. Bing, 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 bing. Right? So this is another one of your combos that you can do, and it's pretty nice. If you don't want to get the last hit that takes a little bit longer, you can always just animation cancel by waiting a little bit. But this one here is still nice, As you can see, pretty good combo, pretty self-explanatory. I feel like just slow it down and you'll kind of learn how to do it all. But leading in with your punch, then debuff is always going to be nice. Just kind of skips the chain. Now let's go ahead and put on some of these bigger tanks here and show you some of the combos that you have with these guys. This is one of your combos that you can do that pretty much kills everything in the game. Nothing can survive it. And you can actively fit in another web debuff here in order to make it a little bit more damaging, like so. Like that. This kills literally all of them, every last single one of them, this little combo. So it simply starts with a jump, this, touch here, bing, 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 bing. Right, this kills all of them, and as you can see, it put the tank half health, and Groot has the most health in the game, I believe. So pretty effective. If you're trying to be a little bit more aggressive from that start, let's say if you're just trying to take out a squishy or a tank's there, and you're trying to start off with the little overhead, then you can obviously do like this as well. Bing, 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 bing. Right, and you're pretty much going to leave everyone in the game dead except Groot. He has just a little bit more, but if you wanted to make that a little bit more guaranteed, you can actively go into your grapple if you would so choose. You get to choose if you feel them getting away. I like to save my E until they're moving far enough away from my combo to where it starts missing, and then I save it for that. So I don't like engaging with it. Don't use your E too early in combos unless you're using it in this format. This is the only format where I would use it early, because you kind of using this to, get you where you need to go. It's like how you extend your combos. It's how you keep people in combos. It's how you bring people to where you want to go, or bring yourself where you want to go. So I don't like doing my E preemptively. So to kind of give you some sort of, real world scenario here. So let's say you're flying around, see somebody who looks like they're ready to get munched on. Pause on that. And then you see him and you're like, okay, boom, 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 boom. As you can see, you just pretty much, you can run around just killing people, which is the reason why I say it's better to do your grapple, because you're in your positioning. You can pull them aerial. A lot of characters don't have a lot of aerial ability. One thing that Spider-Man is like really, really good at is, let's say if somebody's coming out of spawn, you can like camp above the spawn like so. And then let's pretend like whenever the bot gets here, he's walking out. Make sure you double jump when you do this. So double jump, bing, 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 and then get yourself out of there. So that's pretty cool. You can also like ledge people for free as well. So that'll look something like this. Let's just pretend that they just came out of spawn. I'm gonna get myself a little bit here.
Watch out, they're headed our way. Spider sling.
Like that. I'll put my cooldowns on so that way you guys can see this. One of the things you can do is like this, and then go like this. Boom, if it doesn't touch, you can just grapple on. Bing, bing, bing. Right? So as you can see, you can still hit that if you have both of them. One of the things you can also do is if you do hit it, you can be like this. Bing, 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 bing. Alright, so this is really easy ways to kind of kill people if you're being very aggressive with it. So really, really effective ways to sort of like kill people if you're leaning in. So bing, bing, bing. You missed it, but you guys get the idea. You would do 1, 2, one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. There's so much more I could show you guys, but I feel like this is already getting kind of long. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think about this character. I think this game is insane. I have a few more guys coming out for a bunch more characters for some exact same level of tech like this, where it's really going to change how the character plays. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more. It's Zooko, man. We're out. Peace.